In this video, I built a full abandoned cart email sequence from copy to design to pushing to Figma completely from scratch, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Adam. I'm the co-founder of Retention for Brands, and we've driven over $200 million in email marketing revenue for our clients, including Snow, Bureau, Moo Magic, Manicurist, Furosity, and many more. Before we dive in, if you want to grab all of the prompts used throughout this video, click down below in the description and I'll send them directly to your inbox. And without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, we'll want to create the copy for this sequence. Now, what I've done is I've actually built a prompt where I have one saved, which you can access down below in the description, and we're going to copy that in because this prompt has the flow basically structured how I've seen it to work best for a lot of our clients. Now, what I'll do is I'll copy this in, and basically the way we're going to do this is we're going to do a 5 email sequence. The first 3 emails are going to be non-discounted, meaning we're going to try to win the order at full price, and then emails 4 and 5 will actually include a discount. So what we need to do is we actually need to pick a brand to use here, and the brand we are going to use is going to be Oakley. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go over and pull their URL, and we'll just type it back in here, and then we can kind of leave Claude do the rest of the work, but we'll just make sure that we actually fill out all the necessary information. And again, feel free to grab those prompts down below in the description. That will really help you actually, do this process. So we're going to leave it do its thing, and we'll come back when the product is ready. Okay, so now it's come back with the 5 emails. So for email 1, it's given 3 subject line variations, preview text, and then it's structured it because it's going to be a graphic based email. And you can see email 2 is just going to be another graphic based email. We'll have a plain text check-in from the founder, which we've seen to work exceptionally well for our clients. Email 4 is going to introduce the discount, and it's actually still working, but email 5 is going to be a discount last chance. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build these one by one. Obviously, if we try to build all of them together, Claude might have a heart attack. So we're just going to build them one by one. And what we're going to do is grab the other prompt for the design, and we'll let it do its thing. So now I've pasted in the prompt, and essentially it's saying like you're an expert email designer building production ready HTML emails for brand name. So what we're going to do is we're just going to enter in Oakley in here, just so we have the prompt complete. It'd be handy if I could actually spell the bloody thing. Here we go. Okay, so now we have the prompt ready pretty much. What we're going to do is we're going to just say email 1. So we'll just actually remove the rest of the prompt. There we go. And what we're going to need to do here is we're actually going to need to provide it with some imagery, because if you just tell it to try and pull stuff from the website, it's just not going to render correctly. So we'll probably just need to pick out those images ourselves. So what I generally like to do as well is I like to give it some example emails from previous designs, just so it has a rough template to work off of, and it kind of understands the typography, the hierarchy of text, obviously the image choice, and then certain things like CTA placement, CTA shape, all of that kind of good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Mild, and what we'll do is we'll just pull a screenshot. Now this email is actually a little bit long. It might be a little bit blurry for Claude, but it should give it a kind of good, good idea as to what we're kind of looking for here, essentially. So let me just get rid of this, and then we'll come back in, and then we're just going to put that in there. We're going to do the exact same thing again, and obviously the more you kind of share with it, the better the emails will probably be. But I don't want to be here screenshotting emails all day long either, and I'm sure when you're building out emails, you're probably the same. So we'll just take 2 for now. It should be able to realistically pull a lot of design context from the website anyway. But what we'll also need to do is actually pull the logo. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to copy this. I don't think I can copy it as an image, so we'll probably just have to screenshot the old O there. So there we go. And now we just need to kind of pick some images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some images, we'll come back, and then we'll actually build the design of the email. Okay, so I've put in some random images here, you can see. So hopefully this will actually come out nice in the design. So we'll just kind of put that through, and we'll see what it comes up with. Okay, so it's come back with the design, and it's not bad. Could definitely do with some improvement, but the beauty of this, as always, when you're creating emails, or you're creating email designs with Claude, you can always push it to Figma to make further edits. So it's definitely, usable. You can definitely add more edits to this for sure. So it's actually not bad, to be fair. And obviously, of course, you can change around with the product imagery as well. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to use a different prompt. I'm actually just going to talk into Claude here using Whisperflow. And what we're going to do is we're going to create the second email. We're going to use the same product imagery, but we're just going to ask it to change up the copy, because we were given the copy, and just use the same imagery, and obviously add more social proof to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just tell it to do that right now. Can you create the second email of this sequence, and please make sure to use the copy you created for the second email. Also make sure to use the same imagery because we want it to be the same product, and feel free to mix up the design style in terms of colors as well for the next one. So we'll just punch that in, and we'll see what it comes back with. It might just take a minute or two, so we'll let it do its thing and come back. So now it has actually come back and created the second one, and as we can see here, it's actually looking pretty sleek, not too bad. It's using the product imagery here. We have the reviews. Maybe the 4.8 might be a bit out of place there. We could probably move the CTA up a little bit higher, but again, all editable in Figma afterwards. And they obviously, of course, well, Claude, of course, use some nice customer testimonials here with a simple CTA down the bottom. So things are actually looking pretty clean so far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to actually creating the third email. So I'll obviously prompt it just by talking. Can you please proceed to create the third email, the plain text one? And then we're just going to let it return and build that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build out the fourth and fifth email, and then we'll kind of go to the end, push them all into Figma, and then we'll have our finished piece. Okay, so now we have the email 4 and email 5 actually built, and you can see it's actually still typing out some information here, but email 4 not looking too bad either. Of course, probably a few changes you can make there. CTA is up a little bit higher. Maybe we could make a little bit of changes to this body section because it looks a small bit busy, but to be fair, for just one-shotting through AI, it's definitely not that bad. Now, what we want to do here as well is also check out the email 5, which definitely looks quite decent. It's kind of like a similar enough structure to, of course, the previous one, but you can see here that there's a timer being used for the code, and obviously we have the code here, but we'll probably move that CTA up a little bit higher as well. Now we basically have like emails 1 through 5, copy done, design done. Now what you can do is you can actually decide to either, well, use them. So you could actually take this PNG, you could slice it up, you probably want to use it to like Figma, and then you can actually just push that into Klaviyo then. Or else what we can do is we can push it directly into Figma. So what I've done is I've actually created a Figma file, a Figma folder, and what we're going to do is we're going to tell Claude to actually put this into the Figma file that I've given it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go over and then essentially just going to copy the actual link itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the chat, and I'm going to say, can you please push all of these email designs, email 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all into this Figma file? I want to put them in here so I can do further edits in the Figma file. And then I'm just going to drop in that link, and we're just going to leave Figma, or sorry, not Figma, but Claude actually figure out, you know, how to push it in. It's going to do that. It's going to be doing a little bit of thinking, and then once it's ready, we can kind of come back and take it from there. Okay, so now we actually have the full flow pulled in into the Figma file, and funnily enough, it actually wrote like the headline as well, Oakley abandoned cart flow, and kind of gave a little bit of a sub headline as well. 5 email sequence editable in Figma. So it's pretty cool how it can do that. I will say it can take a bit of time to push it into Figma correctly, so you might need to like just have a little bit of patience and like kind of reprompt it, but that is essentially how you do that. So we've literally went from copy to email design to into Figma. Now these are ready to obviously edit, or else if you're happy with these, you can push them straight into your account, you know, if you're doing this for your own brand. So that's pretty much it in a wrap. Now, just as a reminder, if you do want the prompts used throughout this video, click the link down below in the description and I'll send them straight to your inbox. I think that pretty much wraps up this video. So if you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next video.